Welcome to Rock the Block Live review show with me, Eugene.
With me, Jorden.
And with me, Malcolm.
Okay, so every week we take on a very serious project. We have been talking about Paxos, EOS, Stella, XRP. So today we're going to do something a little bit different for you guys. We're going to go look at social games, and some of these games kind of dodgy. They're not really the kind of use case you would see blockchain used for. However, that being said, they have been wildly successful in what they have been doing, attracting people from the blockchain community or even not from the blockchain community to get on board whatever they are trying to sell to you. Some of this may sound like Ponzi scheme, like gambling, like pyramid scheme to you, but yet at the same time, so many people are on board these dApps. So the question that we want to ask is this something we should avoid? Is this something you guys should get into? And that is why on Rock the Block Live, we're going to review these projects to find out everything that we can about these projects so you can make a calculated, educated decision if you're going to get in or not.
Yeah, I mean, the popular ones I'm sure many of you guys have heard is like CryptoKitties. Recently, Ethereum is also getting a lot of traction.
Ethereum,
yeah. And also Gods Unchained, a fantastic, interesting looking card game that's still in the ICO stage. You can actually buy booster packs and earn cards. And interestingly, like God Unchained, it recently came out, but one of the ultra rare cards called the Mythic actually sold for 146 ethers for one card. I mean, they're using the new, not new, but they're using a 721, ERC 721 non-fungible token style, which basically means that you have true ownership of the cards that you own. And this is actually a kind of asset that a lot of people are looking to obtain, like CryptoKitties. We all know about them, and they've been sold for exorbitant amount of money, 1,000 over ethers, some of them.
But still, those are the kind of games that are pretty straightforward. They are collectible games.
Yeah.
The games we're going to talk about today are things like ETHRoll, Proof of Weak Hands 3D,
and Bank Heist 4D.
Yeah.
4D.
4D, whoa.
These are the kind of games that you can put some money in and potentially make some money out of it. So this is where the gray area really is. Okay? So once again, this is not a video to advise you or recommend or encourage you to get into any of these projects. We just want to talk about them so you guys get a better idea how they function. Okay, so let's take it away with
keywords.
Keywords of the day. Keywords of the day. So fans of Rock the Block, you guys know what to do. Go and get your drinks because we're going to be throwing back some shots. For today, it's Malibu and Pineapple. Because, as I said, it's a very social gaming topic we're going to talk about.
Relaxing
and chill, yeah. So for those of you who are new to this channel, well, welcome to Rock the Block Live Review. This is a show where we drink when every time certain keywords are being mentioned. Today, the three keywords are risk, chance, and returns. Okay, Jordan, take it away.
Alright, so the project should I call it a project? It sounds weird when I call it a project.
The dApp, you can call it the dApp.
The dApp that I'm going to talk about is called ETHRoll.
Alright, ETHRoll.
Alright, so if you guys haven't heard of ETHRoll, I just heard of it a couple of days back. I tried it. Okay, so this is a dApp that you have to access through a wallet.
Like MetaMask or Trust Wallet.
MetaMask. So personally, I tried it through Trust. That is managed by Binance. And what it does is you put 0.1 ether in. Alright.
That's the minimum, is it?
Yeah, the minimum is like 0.1 ether.
Okay.
And you can adjust the chance of winning.
Okay.
Okay. So
it's not it doesn't have to be 50-50, it can be like
it can be like 1%.
Okay.
And all the way to like 98% of winning.
So obviously the more chance you have of winning, the lesser
payout. Of course. Okay. So what happens is, for example, if you are looking at a 1% chance of winning with a 0.1 ether bet in that sense, you're gonna get like 9.8 ether.
Okay. So it's like almost
100 times.
Almost 100 times.
Yeah, but the percentage
it's
of
better than
winning
any ICO right now.
But the percentage of winning is 1%.
Yeah, 1%.
It is 1%.
Which is about the percentage of chances to get
It's like buying an ICO right now.
ICO these days is like maybe 5%, maybe. They actually stays afloat. Yeah.
Okay, so if you get a 99% chance, with a 0.1 ether, you earn 0.001 ether.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1% of your investment.
It's 1%.
So that's fair, right? In a sense.
It is fair. But Jordan over here tried with his own money, with his own Ethereum, so that you don't have to.
And what was the verdict?
So in just 3 hours, I had a balance of 0.7.
Okay.
After 3 hours, I had a balance of 0.4.
You lost.
So you lost 0.3 ether.
Yes.
But what's the percentage chance?
How many times you roll?
Yeah.
Oh man, I roll quite a lot.
Like 10 times? 20 times?
Around there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I know you were the high risk or rather the low risk guy when it comes to such.
Oh, come on, man.
So what was the percentage
Yeah.
that you're rolling at?
Alright, so I was rolling at about 83 to 87%.
That's
And-
strange.
And there was one time I tried at 70 odd percent, and I sent a screenshot to Malcolm like, hey guy, you know what, live fast or die young.
Okay.
You know what?
That is not what we are advocating. This is
Yes.
Jordan's personal.
He's trying it so
I'm
you guys
trying
don't
it
have to.
so you don't
Yeah.
have to. Do not lose your ethers. It might be worth something else in the future. Yeah. So so basically how ETHRoll works is that it has a 100-sided dice
Okay.
that rolls from 1 to 100
100.
or 0 to 100 in that case.
Uh-huh.
And the house has a 1% each.
Okay.
Okay.
So for example, if you are betting on a 86% win rate,
Yeah.
all right, anything that you roll below 87%, you win.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you win, if the dice comes out as 88%,
Hey, you lose your money.
you lose 0.1 ether.
I guess it's high risk, high return kind of.
High risk, high return.
Hey, high risk.
Yeah.
Oh. And high returns. Oh.
Oh, coconut.
Nice. So like, how does it use? Does it use any smart contracts? Or does
Yeah.
it use
So
any-
apparently they do have a smart contract in place that makes it immutable,
Okay.
and that they do have a white paper as well.
Oh,
Amazing. But I think the white paper is pretty outdated because it was written pretty far back. At point of time when they were writing it, I think Ether was at let me see. Ether was at almost a one. Oh, Bitcoin was at a market cap of $14 billion.
Oh, that was quite
long
early.
ago.
Quite early.
Yeah,
on,
that was pretty long ago. So apparently they say that there's a lot of other sites or other projects like Prime Dice, Bastbit, King that
Okay.
has a lot of Bitcoin going in and out of the system.
Mhm.
But this is running solely on Ethereum.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's managed by a smart contract. So when you send the money in, you're sending into their smart contract.
Yep.
And if you win, they will pay it out directly to your wallet.
Yes. So
Oh, okay.
here's the fun part. Every time I put a bet or when I put the ether in, you get a bit impatient, like mining 3 blocks. So you have to wait. And then you get a little bit impatient, you click on your wallet address to see what's gonna happen. If you see the transaction that says 1 Gwei, you know you lost.
Oh, okay. But if you see a
If you see
transaction
something else other than
that one way, it is actually money sending back into your wallet.
Yeah.
So has there any chances when they did not send any transaction back to you, or it's always on the transaction?
okay,
back?
so for the rolls that I did,
Yeah.
I think about 10 to 20 rolls, I did get my money back.
Alright, okay.
Fair enough.
So it's fair, but you don't
think
know
it's fair.
whether the system or the randomization behind the scenes is fair, but at
Mhm.
least they are fair in terms of being a good paymaster.
Is their code open source?
That I'm not very sure, man. But
I guess that's something that you guys should take note of.
yeah,
I think
you should-
whenever you
I mean, if you guys are the tech
Yeah.
guys, look into the codes
correct
and
because
see whether it's something that is
I think
fair.
the benefits of using blockchain as a way to run this kind of systems is that you want to make sure that it's fair. I think that is actually the biggest edge because a lot of these online websites have a lot of house edge or a lot of behind the scenes things that you're not aware of, so you're not really sure whether it's fair. I think blockchain gaming really gives you the assurance that it is fair. It is, if the randomization is actually like the codes are actually able to be audited by you, just have a look and make sure that everything it looks good before you try it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, ETHRoll is pretty simple. You put it. It's not gonna be a scam on Twitter. No, oh, send me 0.1 ether or send me 10 ethers. No.
It's a pretty straightforward game. You put in ether, you have your scalable chances,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Chance.
Chance. Yeah.
Chance.
It's a probability game, so you win, you lose, based on your own luck.
Yep.
Okay, fair enough.
Cool. Okay, so
And obviously you lost more than you won. even at
Obvi-
80%
Yes.
probability.
Yes.
So that begs the question: is Jordan very unlucky, or could it be that the game has more house age?
Maybe
than
the
it
game
says?
is rigged.
Okay, yeah.
You know,
I hate
if
losing
don't try it out because we told you to do so. But if you do, and you know,
And if you want money,
please let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
click on the link below, give us a comment. If you're feeling generous, you can make a donation too.
Yeah.
Ether address right below.
Yeah. All right, Malcolm, on to you.
Okay, so the next dApp I'm gonna review is called Bank of Ether. Bank of Ether
of Ether.
.app. So basically, Bank of Ether is like an invest. You can actually do investments in it. So you can actually put in some money, and basically what it does, it will grow its money for you. Now, before you scream Ponzi or before you shout scam, let's dive a little bit deeper before we come to that conclusion. It actually links the where it gets its money to pay all these investors is because it's linked to other different games that they actually created. So the one game they created is called Bank Heist 4D. So this is a game that is kind of related to Bank of Ether.
Okay.
So the reason why it's called 4D is because there's 4 different ways that you can actually earn.
Oh.
Okay, so first is the vault jackpot price. Second is the safety deposit prices. Third is passive income from holding keys. And fourth is passive income from investing in Bank of Ether. Okay, so how it works is you have to buy keys. So if you come into this game and you buy X amount of keys, you actually have X amount of chances, alright, to open the vault. And the vault has a certain timing. So it may be like 24 hours kind of thing. So after the 24 hours ends, okay, the smart contract will then decide which key is the one that unlocks it, and if you are the owner of that key, you get the jackpot prize.
Oh, okay.
How much is jackpot?
It depends on how much people have been contributing into this pool.
Okay.
Because it's not really a sponsored thing, that they don't come out with any money.
Yeah.
They give you the opportunity to kind of like throw money in. So it's like a crowdsource. It's like a lottery. You know, everybody's paying for the ticket. All the money from the ticket goes into a pool, and then one guy gets a big pool.
But if no one plays it, then it doesn't work.
Yeah, if no one plays it, you know, then maybe if only you play it and you invest 0.1 ETH,
You win 0.1
you just win back your 0.1 ETH.
Don't house take anything? The bank take anything?
Yes, they do. So there is kind of like a chart that they actually show, which shows the distribution of whatever money has been invested. Now, before we jump into this, we need to discuss the thing about the keys. So if let's say the round starts right now, and you buy a set amount of keys,
Okay.
everybody who buys keys after you from that point, you earn some dividends. You earn some interest.
So
rates.
if I buy keys,
yeah,
I buy 10 keys.
yeah.
Eugene buys 5.
Yeah, you get a small percentage of, the money that he spent on the 5 keys.
Ooh, smells like MLM.
Yeah.
Smells just.
Okay, so this is how they encourage people to come in early, because people maybe just want to wait and see, have the wait and see attitude.
Yeah.
Like, oh, if nobody's playing, I don't want to play.
Oh,
I don't
of
lock up my ethers, right? But they're saying, hey, if you come in early, they're gonna give you something good, and then people feel like, oh,
So that's how they attract people to play
come
the
in,
game
yeah.
and put their Ethereum.
Okay, so they have a chart here that says keys purchase split. So for every key that you buy, 15% goes to the current round of jackpot, 65% of it is distributed to all investors in the round who actually hold the keys. 5% is the seed fund for the next round, so there's always some money going to the next round. 2% goes into the safety deposit box, which is a different pool. 3% is profit, which goes back to the Bank of Ether investors. So this is where they get the money to pay you when you do the investment in the Bank of Ether, which is the first one I talked about.
So they get about 3%.
And 10% is their development and marketing fund. So this is the 10% that they take. Okay, so in addition to the keys that you buy, if you spend a minimum of 0.1 ETH, you get another special key. And this special key unlocks this thing called the safety deposit box. So there's a bank, and it's a safety deposit box.
Okay.
And safety deposit box is an instant open. You can instantly open
I'm very confused by
Yeah.
this. There's so many different parts to
things.
it.
Yeah, you know.
You lost me after a while already.
So there's a main bank
Okay.
which the money mainly goes into.
Yeah.
There's a smaller bank called the safety deposit box where
Okay.
a small amount of money goes to there.
Okay.
So-
that's a 3% or is that
No,
the
that's
65%?
the 2%.
See, the problem
That's
is
a 2%,
the problem
okay.
with such a game, right, is by the time you take the effort to explain to somebody how it actually works, right,
Yeah.
you lose the attention of the person already.
It is a bit confusing.
The only people who play this are hardcore
Oh.
people who love chances.
Yeah. So I mean, from what they say is invest at least 0.1 ETH
I'll drink rubber.
to earn bonus keys, so you get more normal keys, and a chance to open a safety deposit box with an instant win.
Oh.
So they kind of really want to encourage you to invest.
So it's very lottery, it's very
Yeah.
game of this is high probability game.
Like buying
Yeah.
Toto.
Yeah.
So
No,
if you-
it's like buying Toto, buying lucky draw, buying lucky dip.
Yeah.
It's like the 4Ds.
Oh.
All the lucky dips.
So I mean, if you are someone who is interested in this, but don't really want to have the chance factor, which is basically buying the keys and hoping you win,
Yeah.
you would like to you should be investing in the Bank of Ether, because the Bank of Ether, when you put money in there, every time
It's due
there's
dividends.
profits from this
Yeah.
game, because it's running like
So you back the bank up basically.
Yeah.
Let other people
And
You
then
play the
game.
house. You play the house.
yeah.
You play the house.
So people take their chances to win the bank,
Yeah.
to win the jackpot.
Yeah.
But every time there's a jackpot, a percentage of it goes into a separate portion which pays out investors.
Okay.
I don't really know whether they should use the word investors, because you're not really investing in anything, but you're just basically believing that people will play this dApp and this dApp will be very popular. Yeah.
Okay. So do you see that this game will go very far?
I think it's interesting because it has
Because
a
what
lot
do
of
you even choose this game?
multifaceted. I think this game, strangely enough, Bank Heist 4D, I actually use a website called State of the dApps, which actually shows you all of the different dApps that have been created and their popularity. So under its category,
Gambling.
yeah, gambling. This is actually rated quite high. It's number 13. On the gambling tab, is at number 4, most popular dApp out there.
I
So people
see.
are playing it. It's just maybe not that many. Because to be very frank, a lot of the dApps users is not very high. Like Bank Heist 4D has 233 users in the last 24 hours, and they are number 4. Okay, so you talk about adoption, it's pretty poor. But
Yeah.
on the other kind of dApps, like let's talk about IDEX. So IDEX is an exchange, right? So at least there's 23,000 users. So that's better. But I think if you're talking about adoption in the crypto space, all these different smaller dApps do count. And this is how we're trying to push up the adoption as well as the understanding of what blockchain is.
The,
and all
the,
that stuff.
the funny thing is, in a bear market right now, when no one's really investing in serious projects, we find that a lot of the investors, I don't even call it investors, pundits really, the money is going towards social games,
Yeah.
collectible card games, or rather in this case non-fungible ERC token for
Yeah.
the cards, and then games like the bank, games like ETHRoll, and this leads me to the project I'm going to talk about, which is Proof of Weak Hands 3D.
Wow.
Proof of Weak Hands 3D.
That will not work for me. Strong hands here.
Then you should
Heavy bags.
be buying into P3D if you have strong hands. How the game works, and mine is really simple. It's very straightforward.
Okay.
As it's based on Ethereum network.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody puts money in a pool. When you put Ethereum into the P3D pool, you pay 10%. No if, no then, no else, no buts.
You pay
Straight away.
10%?
Yeah. If I have 10 Ethereum, I put 10 Ethereum in. The system takes 1 to the
Okay.
pool.
Okay.
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 I only have 9 left.
Okay.
Okay. If I want to withdraw my Ethereum from the pool, they take 10%.
Another 10%.
Another 10%.
Oh, so you
Wow.
get back like 8.1.
Thereabouts, right?
Okay.
So there's 10% in, 10% out.
Okay.
Now, how do you actually make money in P3D?
I'm all yours now, my friend.
It uses the dividend mechanism. Okay?
Okay.
If you put Ethereum in to purchase their P3D tokens, okay, for as long as you have P3D in your account, anybody else who comes in, deposit or withdraw Ethereum, pays 10% to the system, right?
Yeah.
That 10% will be distributed to all the P3D token holders.
So you have to buy it with the mentality that you'll never sell it, then you earn.
That's why it's called proof of weak hands. And the way they mine, the mining portion is done, is that anyone with a weak hand who leaves the system, right, they forgo another 10%, right? And the 10% gets distributed to everybody else as dividends.
Oh,
So the idea is, if more people come in because they want to enjoy dividends, like Jordan here, he enjoys tokens that give payouts. He'll put his money in, not come out, and anyone who just come in and leaves, comes in and leave, they end up paying the 10% in, 10% out, 10% in. And you'll be surprised. We talk about being strong hands, we're going to put our money there and not leave. But there's so many different mindsets of people out there, because we are talking about social games with an element of gambling inside. There's this pundit mentality. People may look at price action. People may look at the value of the token. If P3D is collapsing as the token, so P3D value, more people come in and buy the tokens, the cost of P3D goes up. People sell the tokens, cost of P3D goes down. So you can almost imagine that if the price is dropping on the token, I'm going to have weak hands. And what do I do in the normal market? If Bitcoin starts to fall below 10,000 to 7,000, I sell. So when you sell, everybody else in the network earns. So this is a very novel idea, although people on the internet, if you go and check it out, people say it's Ponzi, it's scam, which I'll get to that in a while. But generally, why I do think this is a very good store of value is compared to Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin goes up or down on the market, you're just playing the price. You buy high, you sell low. That's really the game. Now, with
you buy high, you sell low, that's suicidal, bro.
That's everybody else in December and January this year, right?
You buy low and sell high.
You buy low, sell high, correct. But the idea of weak hands is that they buy high when they chase the trend, and they sell low because they're scared, right? Yeah.
Different train of thought.
Yeah. But you're right. In order to make money, you buy low, sell high. But the funny thing is, people do buy high and then sell low.
That is suicidal.
So no matter what it is, if you just hold it like strong hands Jordan here, people go in and out, you don't really care about the price of Bitcoin. You still make on that dividends.
So I guess the strategy is really to be playing with the money that you can afford to lose, and you don't need it like an emergency money. Because if, let's say, for example, you need this money urgently, then maybe you have to sell it. Although you know that, although you want to be strong hands, but you can't because you need to sell it.
Actually, yes and no. Even if you do withdraw, you don't really make as much a loss. Because of the mechanics of how
because of in and
you
out,
will in and out, you will have that wave. You will not going to get that kind of valuation that runs 20k 20 times and dip down. So the idea that you can put your money in, and if you want to withdraw, you just pay a 10% haircut to that. Yeah. So of course, the timing of the token actually all makes sense. But don't forget, for as long as you have money in, you are earning dividends. Now, nowhere on the charts or nowhere in any of the forums do people actually want to speculate the percentage of returns of dividends. But because we are talking about returns here, there is no way I can do justice to this project without giving you an indication of how much you can potentially make. Although do note that ROI works different for different people. When you sell, how much you sell, whether you want to compound it, all this will make a difference in your mathematics, right? But how I calculate on my mathematics based on just dividends alone, you may get between 0.5 to 1% a day.
Wow, that's a lot.
On dividends, not talking about the value of the token.
Wow.
Right? So sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down. So
1% a
it
day.
is a lot if you are a holder. So these games reward holders. If you are weak hands, this game, you should get in because then people like us just benefit from that, right? The interesting thing about P3D is, although this is very simple, you can really make money out of it, the history behind it and the team is really interesting.
Okay.
If you go onto Reddit and you check it out, there is two camps. People who love it and people who hate it.
Of course.
People who hate it generally thinks it's a Ponzi, it's a pyramid, and they talk about two other projects that the team has done that tanked, that totally crashed. But if you take a look at the projects that came before P3D, they were different team members. The team members do not know each other. It's purely anonymous. Even during the interview, or if you ever get to talk to the team, like Justo, he's the main guy, the lead developer, right? You will never hear his voice. You don't know who he is. His identity is a secret, and he feels that if ever his identity is being revealed, people will kill him. For the same reason, Satoshi don't even reveal himself.
I see.
Okay, and P3D, although people say it's a gambling debt, but if you look at the philosophy of P3D, it's really a lot more than just a debt. I'm guilty for that. If you've seen some of my past daily videos, I did mention that I would not take part in POWH3D. I will not take part in P3D because it's gambling. It's Ponzi. But I have to swallow my whatever I said, because as I was researching for Satoshi's Quest, which is a treasure hunt game that Rock the Block is launching for the 10-year anniversary for Satoshi's white paper on the 31st of October, I began to learn about the philosophy of Satoshi. And when I heard more about Team Just and P3D, the reason why they even came out with P3D, yes, it is a joke. It's a satire of the current state of cryptocurrency today. We talk about proof of stake, we talk about masternode, we talk about weak hands. These are the things we talk about. But the funny thing is, P3D is a more stable representation of cryptocurrency today than any of the 95% of ICOs that have failed and tanked. We look at ICOs, we have a face, a founder, superstar. Their founders have very minimal stake in the project. In fact, the 25 founders, the pioneers, or they call themselves the ambassadors, had a ceiling of 1 Ethereum contribution to the pool.
Wow. Okay.
So even if the rest of you guys came in, what can they sell for that? Nothing much. Maybe if they stay long enough, they make the dividends just like anybody else. So that itself prevents the Ponzi from happening, the pyramid from happening, or rather the Ponzi scheme. Because when we talk about Ponzi scheme, it's usually one man up there, giving you false hope, telling you guaranteed returns, and then when the bottom of the pyramid just crumbles, everything just falls apart.
Not non-sustainable.
Yeah, like BitConnect.
Yeah.
But this is protected by the code, by the smart contract. It's been audited, it's been validated. In fact, if you take a look at the GitHub code, it is designed so smooth, so slick for anyone to understand. So the code hygiene, the integrity is very strong. And the only way P3D can ever collapse is if Ethereum network collapses. So it's totally decentralized, totally for the people. And in fact, when you begin to study P3D, the question that you would have is, why aren't other cryptocurrency projects using this model? So you're sold. I'm sold. In fact, I bought it. In fact, I believed it so much, I bought a masternode for myself.
How much is the masternode? How much is the masternode?
You'd be surprised. How much, when you talk about masternodes, how much do you think you need to invest in it to get masternode?
25k, 50k.
At least 1,000.
Yeah.
Doesn't that sound very centralized, because not many people can afford it? I paid 2.4 Ethereum
2.4 Ethereum.
Wow, okay.
to be a masternode.
Alright, after the show, we're gonna have a chat.
Click my link. If you click my link and you actually take part in P3D, I get slightly higher percentage. But it's not beyond you. It's just one layer. So it's not very pyramid-ish. But at the same time, if you think about that and you think that such referral program is a scam, think about bounty programs, right?
Yeah.
Think about affiliate links. So everything that you can find in P3D is found in the marketplace of cryptocurrency and ICOs, except it works very well in P3D, right?
I think this model is interesting because you're basically encouraging people, to be very loyal to your project, first thing, and encouraging them to buy tokens from the open market and bring it into this storage space, which really reduces the circulating supply of the token, therefore increasing the value of it. Because in future, if more people want to come in, they have to buy the tokens at high valuation, and that's where, if you feel that's the right time to sell, then you can really make some money of it. I mean, interesting for me. I would just thinking like, what if everybody's hands are so strong that nobody is selling or nobody is moving any money? How are you going to be earning?
So good question, right? Like if the one scenario is we hit saturation point, everyone holds, no more buys.
Yeah.
There will be no more dividends.
So it will stop.
It should, right?
Yeah, it should,
It
yeah.
should. In theory, it should.
Yeah.
However,
There have been dApps building on the P3D network
How do you
where they will not say for example, okay, I have it.
POWH3D.
POWH3D is one of them. Yeah, POWH3D is one of them. So if you play POWH3D, 10% of whatever you buy on POWH3D goes back into the P3D pool.
Okay, cool.
And also there are other games that let me see. I lost my link here. Where was it?
So there are games linked back to.
Yeah.
So I would think of P3D as a main network with dApps upon it. So they have POWH3D.
Because as long as someone is buying it, you will always have third-party dApps. Yeah. As long as someone is buying it,
okay,
you will have the 10%, right? So if third-party dApps start to integrate with P3D, like say for example, ETHRoll, right, which is like a horse betting game. We have King of Crypto Hill, Div Garden, Sacrifice with a 3 inside, Raffles, right? So there are a lot of other dApps building upon this, buying into the P3D token to earn the dividends. So if more and more people start building up these dApps, the question of whether it hit a saturation point or not will be a lot more extended.
Wow, very interesting.
And then the other scenario that you might think of is, what if everybody sells? Wouldn't the price of one P3D be worthless then? So whatever that you have, the P3D pool in your bag is going to be worthless. But think about it, if the thousands and thousands of thousands of people are actually selling down the line, you make 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%.
You just need 10 guys to earn back half your money. Double your money actually.
But that's not 1-to-1. It's 10% distributed to all the holders out there.
Yeah, but like the assumption is if everyone leaves and you are the only back holder,
you have a lot of tokens, but the tokens may be worth less.
Much lesser.
Much lesser. But you do get a lot of tokens.
But you never be a kind of game where like I'm holding on to some tokens and they crash totally. I bought it at 24. It's not like $1 something. There is no other option for me. There's no dividend. There's no fallback or hedging a risk. It's just gone. It's dead, Jim. The project's dead.
Yeah. It's the same kind of risk you're taking when you buy any other kind of ICO, to be very honest.
Yeah. So that's the stuff I have for you on P3D. Also out of P3D, POWH3D was born out of it. And the interesting fact here is POWH3D was developed before P3D.
Oh, so the game came first and then the concept.
Justo is the guy who is the lead developer for this, right? So he's been creating all these ideas and he has a very strong team to back him up. It's actually a 4-man team and no one knows each other. They don't know which part of the world.
Okay.
Right? But he has this concept in his mind. So I hypothesize that in order for someone to think this way, he's got to be a gamer. Or he has very strong understanding of gaming philosophy and mechanics. And for him to have that kind of a long tail vision where he's going to start this first and then that, and then using all the various keywords in the community today, and then almost making it as a joke. But although we say it's a joke, but he makes it better than any other serious project out there. So I would give this team a lot of props, and also this team choose to remain anonymous and totally decentralized. The code has been audited. There's nothing that they can make money out of it. Like you guys have portions in your project where the team makes money. These guys don't make money out of this game. Yeah. If they do make money, if they do make money out of it, they will make money just like how you and I go in and buy it. Maybe they bought it at an earlier stage. That's all. And if they die tomorrow, that's it. This project still goes on. That's what I love about it. So I'm a big believer of this project because they do have a lot of Satoshi's vision and philosophy behind what they do. And if you compare this P3D to any other copycat out there, you'll find that the copycat projects don't have the security feature, they don't have any of this feature that protects new users, and the founders can basically run away with the money.
I think this is a very important point is about GitHub and codes. Make sure that if you have the time before you really go serious into any kind of projects, really audit the codes and make sure that there's actually real value there, not just copied codes or very very outdated codes. So go there, have a look, and make sure that it's up to your expectations before you actually think about investing in any of these.
Actually, if you don't understand codes, it's very simple. You just have to go to Reddit. There are people there who will do the due diligence and rip all these codes apart, so you can just go do your research from there.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I have for P3D. Any closing words, guys?
Yeah, I think you know, when we talk
We
about
do it so you don't have to.
yeah, we took the risk so they have to. But I think the interesting thing really about today's conversation is really about adoption. You know,
Yep.
how is the blockchain world trying to get more people to notice it
Yeah.
and to use it? And I think in my own opinion, I think a lot of people who got rich from blockchain or got rich are mostly gamers. Like I first discovered about Bitcoin from RuneScape, although I was unfortunate enough to reject an offer with Bitcoin for one of my items, you know, because at the time I didn't know what it was. But I first heard of it, you know, then. And I think a lot of people in this space right now, millennials, young people who are gamers, and I think games really kind of like interest a lot of these, a lot of us who are in this space, and that's the reason why things like you know, CryptoKitties, who a lot of people were saying it's very stupid.
Yeah, man.
You know, it's just a picture of a cat. Why are you going to pay so much money just for a shiny cat or a rainbow cat? You know, but these kind of things are fun. These kind of things are interesting, and I think it kind of captivates a lot of the target audience, which is like millennials. And I think as more and more games come out, especially the collectibles, the non-fungible tokens, you know, card games, these are the kind of things that I feel will really push the awareness and adoption of the space far faster than if you talk about, you know, very complicated stuff like, you know, maybe payments and stuff, because that one will take quite a while. You know,
Payment needs merchant as well.
you need merchants, and you need kind of like people to integrate it and stuff like that. It's gonna take, you know, and why don't you just use Visa, MasterCard?
Exactly.
You know, right now there is no real need to pay with blockchain or to pay with cryptocurrencies. But I think a lot of these dApps, a lot of these games, they will not exist without blockchain technology, because it is very hard for you to trust a random game developer that they will actually deliver what they promise. Right now we have a mechanism that says it is transparent. We know that we're integrating a smart contract. You know, it's kind of like better still is an escrow, you know, so that whatever money that we are investing or we're playing with, you know it won't just get eaten up and disappear the next day.
But
So
as
I
always, if you want to get in on all this action that we talked about today, remember there's a very high risk and there's a chance that you can lose all your money. But hey, you know what? No risk, no returns.
Right.
Until next week, I'll see you guys again. My name is Eugene.
My name is Jordan.
And my name is Malcolm.
Signing out.
See you guys.